Musics. Folks, welcome to our, what day is it, Friday? Sure. It's Friday, high day. We got Turner the Burner on bass. We got Dylan James Koch on the doggone drums. And I myself am Gregory Stephen Koch, Esquire. We're mixing it up today. I got my old red telly out of hibernation. Still got my signature set of Fishman Fluence pickups on it. Sounds delicious. And in addition, you're hearing a little bit of reverb. I am going through the Tone King Royalist, but I have the new Tone King preamp engaged, which is this rascal right here. Oh, I'm sorry, that camera's a little... Hal, it's going a little berserko, but it allows me to get the sounds of the Imperial, which is more of a deluxe reverb sounding device, with my Royalist, which is more of a Marshally thing. So I've got, I can get reverb on there. Here, let me turn the, even if I turn the amp off, as far as I'm not going through either channel of the Imperial, I'm still going through the reverb. It's also got delicious... So that's just a Royalist with the reverb and tremolo from the Imperial, but I can also go over to this, and now I got the clean sound of the Imperial, but more Fendery. So again, before, after. Second channel is more like a tweed amp with reverb. Just sounds so damn juicy. Yeah, I like that. Sassafras. Let's use that one for the... I saw an old friend just the other night. Well, I couldn't recall the name, but I got some places right. Well, she rambled on about things we'd said and done, all in the name of good food. There we go. Yeah, that one got unplugged. That's all right. Sometimes things happen. Let's take it from the second verse. 1, 2, 3. Well, I saw an old picture just the other day. Well, I conjured up memories that were locked away, of growing pains stuck out like a knife. The supposed best years of your life, but not my life. When reminiscing, something is missing. When were those good old days? 'Cause thinking back, it's all the hate. When were the good old days? Friends seem to come and go like voices on the wind. I can't help but feeling that the best is yet to begin. When we're missing, something is missing. When were those good old days? 'Cause thinking back, it's all a haze. When were those good old days? A little bit of that rock and roll. How we doing out there? How's Eric Gale doing? Eric Gale, how you doing? Eric Gale, how you doing? Eric Gale, how you doing? I hope you're doing good. Eric Gale, how you doing? Eric Gale, oh, how you doing? Song called Eric Gale, how you doing? Is this a vintage telly? This is actually, well, it's getting to be a little older now, but it's actually it's a custom shop 55 telly in Fiesta Red with my pickups on it, and I've had this for quite a yarn. And it's a rockin' savage beast. The gain on that last tune I got right from the Tone King preamp. It sounds pretty juicy, fellas. That sounds pretty juicy. It sounds. We could try a little Rex Charm. You guys want to do a little Rexy? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a little bit of that rock music as written about in the scrolls. Scrolling through. The scrolls said one thing, then another one said something. James Snelling, it says, please do a private gig when you visit the UK later this year. Get a hold of our buddy Dudley Ross. He's booking that tour for us. Dudley Ross on the internet. He's putting together a tour for us in October, late October into November. Folks, we're having a little bit of fun with different gear today. I'm playing this old telly of mine that has my Fishman Fluence pickups on board. And I'm going into my Tone King Royalist amps per usual through the Koch Monster pedal, but I've got the new Tone King Imperial preamp, which is not officially out yet. I'm probably being naughty by using it before it's actually out. I did a video for it. It should be coming out soon. But it is coming out next week, I believe. But I'm using it right now for the kids. Oh, you've been chatting with Dudley. Perfect. That's the overdrive on that preamp. It sounds pretty good. It sounds big and bold. It's large. It's large and tubby and so damn juicy. All right, let's do a little. Baby, get into my big black car. Hey now, baby, get into my big black car. I wanna just show you what my politics are. Well, I'm a political man, and I practice what I preach. I'm a political man, yeah, and I practice what I preach. But don't deny me, baby, not while you're in my reach. Well, I support the left, though I'm leaning to the right. I support the left, yeah, but I'm leaning to the right. Just not fair, baby, when it comes down to a fight. into my big black car. Get out, baby. Get into my big black car. I just want to show you what my politics are. Hey now, baby, how is it? Get into my big black car, how is that? Weidenbaum in the house. He says, hey, Uncle Dre, is that the red telly on the cover of that Hal Leonard book of yours available at Greg Koch or HalLeonard.com? That is correct. This is the one from the blues. What is that one called? It's called, I don't know what the frick it's called. Blues, something magnificent is what it's called. But yes, this guitar was the one on the cover. This is the guitar I used on the first couple, this one and the old telly were the ones I used on the first couple of KMT records. And New Modern, it was called Brave New Blues is what it was called, that book. Brave New Blues has like 3 hours of video accompanying the book with all the transcription. And yeah, it's all good. Can you dig it? I am enjoying that new preamp. I've been kind of utilizing that quite a bit today. In conjunction, of course, with the Cockness Monster Supreme. Have we played in Europe? Yes, we have many, many times. We'll be back again in the fall, although we're primarily going to Germany, Netherlands, Austria. I think we got one thing in Switzerland, and then we're in Italy for a few days, doing about 5 gigs there, and then we go to the UK and do some stuff there. So we have Carl Wallen in the house. Carl Wallen, Carl Walls, Carl Wallen, Carl Wall. Mr. Wallen in the house. Mr. Wallen in the house. Mr. Wallen. Mr. Ballin. Play something from Peter Green. I do love me some Peter Green. We don't really, well, we used to do, I was with Toby. You know what we can do? He did a version of the Stumble. We do a version of the Stumble. We'll do that. This is a Freddie King tune that Peter Green did. We did it. There's a version of it on the new blues record, which simultaneously, or coincidentally, actually or just factually, is available for sale on our website. And you can also, download it if that's your thing. Anyways. Grand Funk, always the right time. Midnight Molly in the house. Are you ready? I unplugged some shit there. All right, here we go. And then Bill Hart wants to hear Unreprinted. We could totally do that. We could totally do both those things. A one, a two, just like that. Just like that. That's a little tune mine from back in the day called Unrepentant. Yeah, I like that song. And do take that a put it up a cow do that a put it up a cow do take a do cow do. Ooh, listen to that. That feels so damn good. Yeah.
Could you please say if you guys are watching, the gas valve to the deep fryer is shut off?
Guys, Turner wants to let you know from his food truck that if the deep fryer's not working, it's because the gas flow is turned off. You got to turn that son of a bitch on. I think that feels good. How we doing out there, folks? What's happening? Oh, I like that. Can you dig it? Jimmy time. We could do a little Jimmy. Villanova Junction. A little bit of that Villanova Junction, ladies and gentlemen. That's a song by Slim Jim Hendrix. Someone asking about the swirly effect. Yeah, that is the Koch Nest Monster. That is the Univibe effect on there, the retro vibe by our friends at Jam Petals. Jam Petals. Ba, ba, da, ba, yeah. Hey, Greg, love the show in Long Beach. Well, I'm glad you did. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming. Maddie K wants to hear a little bit of that Luna Girl. We got it in us? I just got to remember myself. Or Gristle Post, that's another good one. We could do that. That's a good one. Or Luna. We can do that, Luna. good tempo for that one. Longa shuka puka longa lambong. All right, we're going to leave you with one more tune. Let's do a little bit of that Mrs. Buck. We haven't done that one in a while. How about that Turn of the Burner on the bass? That's Matt Turner on the bass. That's my son, Dylan Koch, on the doggone drums. Pontus wants Forever at Last. You know, I do love that song. We have to get that one, and we do have to get that one lurking at some point in time. We'll get that going. We'll get that one happening. But first, it's time to funkify. Say what? Matt Turner on that damn bass. Dylan on those drums. Just like that, ladies and germs. What kind of a fiendish jam was that? That was a thing called Mrs. Buckley. Old tune of mine from back in day. Back in the day, we did some crazy shit. Got to turn to the burner on that bass. He had a nice little solo on that one. Dylan James Koch on the damn drums. I'm Gregory S. Koch, Esquire. Together, we make the unholy triumvirate that has come together to melt your nostril hairs so that you don't have to cut them. That's kind of just a yes and service we provide here at Jam Central Station. What? We thank you so much for tuning in. Maybe we'll be back on Monday. What's going on Monday?
Might snow, you never know.
It might snow, you never know. You might snow, you never know. A great sugar bugger might snow, you never know. Patrick McManus, we're coming up to that Dual Metropolitan Complex. I believe it's on our way back from that tour in June. We're going to be at the Turf Club. Check that website for deets. We're finally getting back to Minneapolis. Thank you, Daniel Alsterman, for tuning in. He says, you guys sound great. Thank you very much. Mrs. Buckley was a meth head? No, she was not. Roger dat. Roger dat. Roger dat. Say what? I said Roger dat. Roger dat. Roger dat. Say what? Roger dat. Assad Bashir says, have a nice weekend. You too, my friend. Have a good one. I think I'm going to go to I'm going with my lovely wife down to a little place called Comedy Sports tonight. We're going to go see a funny show. We're going to go see a funny show. We like that funny show business. All right, folks, thanks so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. I would just want to give a shout out to Dylan. He's been handling, posting all those shorts to both YouTube and to TikTok, and now he's starting to do it a bit on the old Instagram. He's got a gift. The boy's got a gift. And so we're pressing buttons and making dreams do things. Yeah, baby. So all those new little snippets, Dylan's on that. And there's more to come. We got all kinds of stuff dialed in, ready to roll. Thank you, Rand. Rand Doozle says, you're an amazing guitarist, Greg. I met you years ago in Holland. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. Matty K, always great to see you. Robert S. Scott, Spider, the gang. We'll see you cats soon. Bye-bye for now.